Good morning and welcome back to the One Celtic Fans View this Wednesday morning. I hope this video finds you well this morning. I hope it is nice and sunny where you are, and I hope it's going to be a wonderful day, whatever it is you are doing. Please tell me in the video where you are watching the video from around the world, because I do like it when you see the Celtic fans from all around the world commenting. And give the video a thumbs up. Give the video a thumbs up to make sure that we can reach as many Celtic fans and other fans as possible. Now, this morning it is all about, yes, it's that point of the week. It is midweek. It's Wednesday. It's hump day. It is hump day, and we're over the hill of the week. We're over the hill of the week, and we're heading down to the weekend towards football, and that bringing back the SPFL after the break from the cup madness of the weekend. The Aberdeen manager has been talking about Celtic and has Chris Boyd, who do you expect to have a little bit of a meltdown, and he's feeling a bit sad, is Chris. He's feeling a bit dejected. Anyway, we talk about the Aberdeen manager first before we talk about Chris Boyd, big fat Boydie. And they're all talking about Celtic. This is why we're mentioning them. We're not mentioning them because we're obsessed with them. They are talking about Celtic. It's only Scottish football that you see, and I do watch some other football podcasts from other leagues, and it only seems to be in Scotland that if you talk about another club on your channel, you're obsessed with them. And it seems a bit bizarre, but that's Scottish football for you, and we all know what it's like. Anyway, the Aberdeen boss says that his players can take an immense amount of credit from the way that they played at the weekend. Even though Celtic looked as if they were cruising the first half, Aberdeen came out the second half and give Celtic a good old game, and the fact that they took it to penalties. But the Aberdeen manager himself needs to take some credit for that. But he says, look at the players. Despite not playing our best, we've taken some major positives. He said, look, Celtic are the standard that those players need to get to. Aberdeen boss says, look, he says, despite the efforts, we couldn't just make it over the line. The dressing room was a little bit flat after the game. It's my job to lift the staff and them up because they've got a massive game. They are in the bottom three of the SPFL. They find themselves in a really strange position. And I've got to say that Barry Robson, though, still to this day will be reeling the fact that he didn't get Liam Scales. Some Celtic fans would have been wishing that he got Liam Scales. Liam Scales has been a fantastic player for us this season. He does what Liam Scales does. We know of his limitations when it comes to football, and sometimes he does have that little mistake and out of position. He is a vastly improved player. I did say that at the beginning of the season. I've reiterated that. Yeah, I've said it again and again and again. And I have said it because at the beginning of the season, I did say that Liam Scales would be the one player that when it comes to the end of the season, this end of the season, we're going to look back. The fact that he stepped in, he looked as if he was going to Aberdeen. He thought he was going to go back to Aberdeen, but due to injuries that we had at the beginning of the season, and I'm going to talk about this because it's important, because I think Chris Boyd needs to think about that. Even every big club in football, every single big club, doesn't matter what club you are, there's not a one club. I mean, even in the invincible season under Brendan Rodgers, we didn't go that full season without having at least someone out injured, and and it's about being able to rotate the squad. Every single club goes through a bad patch during the season. Luckily for us, we had a lot of our injuries, the majority of our injuries at the beginning of the season. Which means we did get off to a bit of a bad start. We did get put out the League Cup, and people were saying it was Celtic in crisis. It was all negative headlines, remember, from August until October. The headlines, almost till December, really. The negative headlines that the media and even Brendan Rodgers and the Celtic staff came out and said, look, it's always funny when you look at the headlines, because they portray them as all this negativity and crisis going on at Celtic. If it's not crisis with the fans and the Green Brigade being locked out, it's crisis with the manager, it's crisis with the board, it's crisis with the players. And look where we are come the end of the season. We are top of the table, looking down on the Rangers with 3 points to the good. Yes, we have dropped points during the season, and there's no club hasn't went through a bad patch. Aberdeen, they've been going through a really bad patch. He said that the Aberdeen manager said that their fans were brilliant. They never gave up. They kept pushing us. And he also said that they were the better team at times. And I'd probably say you're right. That was a fair assessment. At times, the Aberdeen were the better team, especially in the second half. We had Celtic rattled in the second half. He did that. He was just gutted for the boys. Levine said, we need to put in that kind of performance the rest of the season as they did against Celtic on Saturday. and then they would avoid relegation. It would be unfortunate if Aberdeen. You remember the last time Aberdeen were going to go down? They changed the league format, didn't they? They changed the league format, or there was it not pitches or something? It was something to do with the synthetic pitch, or 10,000 seater stadium, wasn't it? Yeah, it was a long time ago. So tell me if you can remember that. Yeah, that was the one time that Aberdeen were about to go down, and they got saved. Will this be the year that the SPFL changed the league format and decide to make it a bigger league if Aberdeen are one of the teams to be relegated this season? Watch this space. Anyway, Brendan Rodgers, when we look at the weekend's performance and several performances during this season, it has been defensive lapses of concentration. Yes, lapses of concentration, we'll say, that has been Liam Scales being Liam Scales to be one. But anyway, Chris Boyd is dejected. Chris Boyd is dejected, and he's admitted that although the Rangers fans had worked themselves up to thinking that they could walk to the league and they would be treble champions and they would conquer everyone in their way, including Celtic. This discussion now is about Celtic's ability and the Celtic mantra of not only do we never stop, but we never give up. You know, the we never stop was coined by the previous manager, but it has been something that has been around with the club for a long time, that we keep going till the very end. The narrative has been spun by the media to say that Clement was all conquering. Clementine was all conquering. Oh my darling, oh my darling, oh my darling Clementine. Yep, and you've got to remember that they had what you'd say would probably be a better start to the season than us. And there's not, and this is why I'm saying just a minute ago, there's not one club goes through a whole season and has a bad patch. You could say that they went through a kind of bad patch when they swapped manager, because Celtic were kind of getting a few points in front, which we then went on to lose. But the new managers came in and he's never really had a bad spell, even with the crap team that he has. He got them playing good football, fair enough. But every team goes through a bad spell. Chris Boyd has admitted that he knew the exact moment that the Rangers blew it and practically handed the title back to Celtic. Wait a minute. Haven't we won it the last 2 seasons? Aren't we going for a 3 in a row? Again. I got you, Chrissy boy, there. 3 in a row. And yeah, we're going for 3 in a row again, Chris. That wasn't meant to happen, was it? Scottish football didn't think. You remember that Celtic were going to fold like a pack of cards? How did that work out? Yeah, they were going to fold. If Rangers won the title, Celtic would fold like a pack of cards. Yeah, that didn't work, did it? Although some Celtic fans are saying that his man has declined at the club just now. But talking about big fat Boydie and he's having his meltdown, he says the fans got themselves in a position where they thought they had won the league. But the last 3 games, Rangers have thrown away a golden opportunity. Oh, Celtic could say that back in December. Celtic could say that we lost the league in December as far as some of our fans were concerned. You know, we dropped a shitload of points in December. So just man up, Boydie. You've got to be in it to the end. You know, it's not over till the fat lady sings or McCoy's. Anyway, it's not over. He said it's going to be a difficult couple of weeks. You're going to look over this period and say it's been defining. No, it's not. And I would say, because if you're going to say that was defining, well, it should have been defining back in December when Celtic dropped points and allowed you to get back into the title race. It should have been defining when Celtic dropped 10, 11 points that we were ahead. That should have been the defining moment. It's not every club that likes to be able to go on a run to the end of the season. I have always said that Celtic, I mean, we all know it, Celtic do like to go on a run to the end of the season. They know what it takes to get over the line. But Chris Boyd started making excuses already. He says, forget the start that Rangers had. The manager lost his job. Yes, the all-conquering Beale, the all-conquering Ian Beale that said he had the better of Ange Postecoglou. He had the better of Ange Postecoglou on a dead rubber game. He had the better of Ange Postecoglou going into the new season. Oh wait, Ange Postecoglou ran away from Beale because he had the better of him. In comes the new manager and he says, I've got him in my back pocket. And then the new manager walks away with a 10-point lead, which then cost Beale his job. And in comes Clement, who transformed the club, says Boydie, transformed them. He says, we've got ourselves back into the title race. we got ourselves back into the title race. Nothing about the fact that Celtic dropped 10 points, but they got themselves back into the title race. Yes, it says you've got to go and win it. You've got to go and win it. With 5 games remaining, it is all back to the SPFL. It is all back to league title talk. It is all back to winning 3 points and nothing but winning the next game. It's as simple as that. Celtic going to win the remaining games. We could even afford to draw a game, maybe, at Celtic Park. Do you know what I'm saying? Nudge, nudge, wink, wink. In a worst case scenario, you could even draw 2 games, I would say, and you could still win the league. Nah, you couldn't, could you? No, I think Celtic need to win every single game. I want Celtic to go out in a style. Celtic are at the top of the table. Nothing is decided yet. The momentum is in Celtic's hands. The standard is set in the SPFL by Celtic, says the Aberdeen manager. Chris Boyd says that Celtic know how to win titles. Whilst Rangers have been focusing on trying to win cups, some clubs just focus on winning titles. That is correct. We know how to win the title. This club knows how to win a title. These players know how to win titles. They're not serial losers. Like, imagine calling your own players serial losers. Anyway, with the likes of James Forrest and the likes of Callum McGregor, they've been there, done it many times. With the experience of the one and only Joe Hart, who has 75 England caps to his name. Yes, tell me the last time there was a Rangers goalkeeper that had 75 England caps. Isn't that a little feather on the cap that they would usually shout about? Anyway, on that note, I hope you're absolutely fantastic this morning. Make sure that you give the video a thumbs up, and I shall see you on the live this evening, where we can talk about everything Celtic, and we can start talking about SPFL football once again this weekend. And on that note, have a fantastic day, Celtic fans all around the world.